CC 132 Principles of Microeconomics 2. We are doing market structure, and in previous sessions we have discussed about perfect competition market, monopoly market, monopolistic competition market, and in today's session we will discuss about oligopoly market. It's also very important concept of market structure, oligopoly market. Oligopoly market is that market in which only few sellers exist. You know that perfect competition market is that market in which very large number of buyers and sellers exist. In monopoly market, only single seller exists. In monopolistic competition market, which is the combination of perfect competition and monopoly market, in monopolistic competition market, large number of buyers and sellers exist. But in oligopoly market, sellers are not only one, sellers are not in very large numbers, sellers are only few. It means if few sellers exist in the market, that market is known as oligopoly market. Examples of oligopoly markets are like soft drinks industries like Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, and a few other competing in global market of soft drinks. General Motor Company, Toyota, Maruti, Suzuki, Hyundai, Ford, and other competing in the global market of automobiles. That is also the good example of oligopoly market. OPEC countries. OPEC. OPEC means Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries who have abundant petrol, crude oil, and they export crude oil to those nations who don't have petroleum in enough quantity. So OPEC countries are very few. OPEC countries are also the examples of few oil exporting countries. In these OPEC countries, we include like Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Libya, Venezuela, Nigeria, Algeria, etc. These are the countries who have abundant petrol or crude oil. So OPEC countries are also the example of few oil exporting countries, and this is the example of oligopoly market. So oligopoly market is that market in which few competing industries exist. It refers to an industry that contains only a few sellers or few competing firms. So this is known as oligopoly market, and it's very important market because we must have to know about oligopoly market structure, features of oligopoly market, and the nature of demand curve under oligopoly market, how price and output remains undetermined or indeterminate under oligopoly market, and what is the theory of a prisoner dilemma and game theory. These all topics we will discuss in today's session, which is oligopoly market. Now next is oligopoly. What is the meaning of this oligopoly? The term oligopoly has been derived from Greek words oligi, it means few, and pollen means seller. For example, automobiles company, soft drinks company like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and oil companies are the example of oligopoly market. An oligopoly is a form of market structure which is characterized by few sellers or few firms selling either differentiated product or homogeneous product in the market. And how few sellers is not easy to tell or define numerically. How few are the seller? It means how much quantity of sellers included in this market. It is not very easy to tell or define numerically in the oligopolistic market due to the fact that economists are not specified about a definite numbers of sellers for the market to be oligopolistic in its form. It may be two, maybe three, maybe four, maybe five, or more than five. So, oligopoly market is the market in which only few sellers exist. Now, next is features of oligopoly market. What are the main features? You know that we can define each and every market structure with the help of specific characteristics or features which exist in that market. Without explaining these features, we can't define any type of market. So the features of oligopoly market are: number one is few firms. In this market, only few sellers exist, and few sellers have full control over price and quantity of the output. Few sellers maybe sell homogeneous product or maybe sell differentiated product. It means product may be homogeneous or may be differentiated in this type of market. Homogeneous means when all sellers sell same product, there is no difference between color, size, design, packing, etc. That is called homogeneous product. And heterogeneous or differentiated product means when firms sell differentiated product, and if there is a difference in product quality, size, packing, and the color of the product, if all these things are different but the purpose of that product is same, that is called differentiated product. In this market, firms are few and they can sell either it may be homogeneous product or differentiated products. When few sellers exist in the market, there are interdependence exist under this market. Interdependence means all the firms are mutually interdependent on each other. They mutually decide how much price they fix for the product and how much quantity they all will produce. It means the price and output are determined with the help of mutually consent of few sellers. When few sellers exist, they are mutually interdependent on each other and mutually they decide the price and the quantity of the output. Next is under this market, there is a non price competition. It means there is no such difference uh, related to the price level. They all produces goods and they want to sell more goods in the market. They want to attract more customers from the market. So they uh, spend money on advertisement and for publicity of the product so that their product will sell in a huge quantity in the market. So there is non-price competition exists in this market. Next is barriers to entry and exit. There is some restrictions for entry and exit. That's why few sellers exist in this market. If there is no barriers, no restrictions, then firm may be in large number. But in this market, there are barriers to the entry and exit. Next is role of selling cost. In this market, there is a huge role of selling cost or advertisement cost. Sellers or producers must have to spend money on the publicity of the product so that their product can sell in the market in large quantity and they can earn maximum profit. Next is group behavior. Under this market, there is a group behavior exists. It means all sellers in a group or they make cartel. Cartel is the group of few sellers. When firms make their group or cartel, because in cartel form, they decide mutually the price and quantity of the product. So cartel always made by oligopoly market because in this market only few sellers exist. Next is nature of the product. As I have discussed with you that nature of the product may be homogeneous or may be differentiated. Product may be homogeneous or may be differentiated. It depends upon the seller. For example, OPEC countries always sell or export similar or same crude oil to the developing or those countries who don't have abundant petrol. And cold drinks industries always sell differentiated product. Automobile industry also sell differentiated products. Cement industry always sell same product. So in case of cement industry, product is homogeneous. In case of OPEC countries, product is same, crude oil is same, homogeneous. But in soft drinks industry, in automobile industry, products are heterogeneous or differentiated. So in oligopoly market, product may be same or may be differentiated. Next is indeterminate demand curve. This is the very important feature of this market because in each and every market we can draw demand curve and demand curve remains always certain in position. Like in perfect competition market, demand curve is always horizontal. In monopoly market, demand curve is always downward sloping and steeper. And in monopolistic competition market, demand curve is also downward sloping but more flatter because elasticity of demand is greater than 1 in case of monopolistic competition market. But in oligopoly market, we can't determine the nature of the demand curve. In this market, demand curve remains always kinked. Kinked means when demand is more elastic in the beginning and then less elastic at the end. When two types of elasticity we can show in a same diagram, in that case, diagram will be kinked. So in oligopoly market, demand curve remains indeterminate and kinked shape curve. Now, these are the features of oligopoly market, and we can explain these features with the help of these forms like characteristics of oligopoly. You know that in this market, only few sellers exist. An oligopoly market is characterized by a few sellers and large number of buyers. Oligopoly is a special type of imperfect competition market. It has a large number of buyers, but sellers are only few. Next is product may be homogeneous, product may be differentiated. It means the oligopolistic market produce either homogeneous or differentiated product. Product may be same or may be differentiated by way of design, trademark, or color, packing, etc. Next is group behavior. You know that oligopoly market is about group behavior, not of mass or individual behavior. There are few firms in a group which are very much interdependent or mutually dependent on each other. Each oligopolistic market closely watches the business behavior of other oligopolistic in the industry and design his moves on the basis on how they behave or likely to behave. So that in this market, group behavior or cartel, they always make cartel. Cartel is a group of few sellers. OPEC countries have made cartel in 1973, and OPEC countries raised the price level at that time near about 400%. because when they make cartel, uh, they mutually dependent on each other and they mutually decide the price of the commodity. When sellers are only few, they have monopoly power. They can easily increase the price level, and in case of OPEC, price level rises at that time in 1973 near about 400% because oligopoly make in cartel due to group behavior. Next is barriers to entry. In this market, there are barriers or restrictions for entry and exit. The main reason for few firms under oligopoly is the barriers which prevent entry of new firms into the industry. Patent, patent right, requirement of large capital, control over crucial raw material, etc. These are some of the reasons which prevent new firms from entering into this oligopoly market structure. Only those firms enter into this industry which are able to cross these barriers. In this oligopoly market, there is huge investment is necessary. For example, in automobile industry, there is a huge investment mainly required for the production of cars or automobiles. So, if seller has or producer has limited money, he can't enter, the firm can't enter into the market. So, in oligopoly market, there is some restrictions regarding the entry like patent right, requirement of large capital, control over crucial raw material, etc. These are the reasons which prevent new firms from entering this industry. Next is few sellers means in this market only few sellers exist, but customers or buyers may be in large number. Few firms always dominate the market. They always dominate the power, and the market enjoy a considerable control over the price of the product and the quantity of the product. Hence, there is a complete interdependence among the sellers with respect to their price output policies. Now, next is oligopoly types. What are the various types of oligopoly market? Now we have discussed about the features of oligopoly market, but now we are discussing here the types of oligopoly market. Oligopoly market has various types like pure oligopoly market, differentiated or imperfect oligopoly market. Oligopoly may be collusive and oligopoly may be non-collusive. And collusive oligopoly has another two subparts. One is cartel. Cartel means group of few sellers. And second is price leadership. When one firm is leader firm and other firms are followers, and leader firm determine the price and followers always take over that price which is decided by the leader firm, that is called price leadership under this oligopoly market. And price leadership again has three subparts. One is low cost price leadership. The firm who is the leader of the oligopoly market, that firm is able to produce at lower cost or maximum output. That firm is called leader firm. Second is dominant price leadership. If the firm who is the leader of the oligopoly market that also play dominant role under this price leadership, and if firm is dominant or main firm which has the main control over the price and quantity of the output, that is called dominant market, that is called dominant oligopoly firm. That firm will decide the price and other followers firm will take that price which is decided by dominant price leadership firm. Third is barometric price leadership. Leadership may be barometric. In this case, some firms decided the price and they mutually interdependent on each other, and mutually they decide the price, and firms uh, take over that price which is mutually decided by the other firms. So price leadership has three subparts: low cost price leadership, dominant price leadership, and barometric price leadership. But these types like pure oligopoly, differentiated oligopoly, collusive oligopoly, and non-collusive oligopoly, what is the meaning of these types of oligopoly market? You know that types of oligopoly means non-collusive or collusive. First of all, first type is pure oligopoly. Pure oligopoly market is that market in which homogeneous products are produced by few sellers. When few sellers produces same product or homogeneous product, that is called pure oligopoly. Next is imperfect or impure oligopoly is that market in which all sellers or few sellers produces differentiated product. It means product will be different in case of size, color, design, packing. And if firms are producing differentiated product like soft drinks industry, car industry, all are producing differentiated products, that is called imperfect or impure oligopoly. Next is collusive oligopoly. Collusive oligopoly is the type of oligopoly market in which firms always cooperate cooperate to each other. When firms cooperate to each other, they are called collusive, and firms, if they are compete to each other, that is called non-collusive. Non-collusive is also known as non-cooperative, and collusive oligopoly is known as cooperative oligopoly. So, if the firms cooperate with each other in determining the price and output level, it is called collusive oligopoly or cooperative oligopoly. But if firms not cooperate to each other, if all few sellers have cutthroat competition, or if all sellers have competition with each other, it is called non-collusive oligopoly or non-cooperative oligopoly market. Now next is perfect oligopoly and imperfect oligopoly. A perfect oligopoly is that market in which all the sellers produces same product, homogeneous product. Imperfect or impure oligopoly is a market situation in which all the firms produce differentiated products. Perfect oligopoly is a rare type of situation, and imperfect oligopoly is commonly seen. The examples of perfect or pure oligopoly are like cement industry, steel, aluminum, and chemical producing industries. But imperfect oligopolies examples are like soft drinks industries or automobile industries, etc. Next is types of oligopoly. We have discussed that collusive and non-collusive. The firms, if we cooperate, all firms cooperate to each other, they are called collusion. Or non-collusive means non-cooperative. If all firms compete with each other and they are non-cooperative to any other firm, that is called non-collusive. And types of collusion, you know that collusion may be open or formal or maybe tactic or informal. So if types of collusion is open or formal, formal agreement occurs in the form of cartel. You know that cartel is a group of few sellers And if firms mutually make their group formally for deciding the price and quantity of the output and for earning maximum profit, that is called cartel. And the main goal of this cartel is limiting limiting the competition between the member firms and to maximize joint profits as if the firms were collectively a monopoly. And second type of collusion is informal. Informal means when the cooperation, but not with the uh, formal agreement. If firms, few sellers are cooperating with each other, but without any formal obligation, without any formal agreements, that is called informal collusion. And the types of informal collusion is known as leadership or price leadership model, in which one firm they mutually make leader firm and other firms are called followers. Leader firm decide the price and followers always take over that price which is decided by the leader firm. So these are the types of collusion. One is formal or open, and second is informal. And cartel is the example of formal collusion, and price leadership is known as informal collusion under oligopoly market. Now, next is nature of the demand curve under oligopoly market. What type of demand curve we can draw under this market? So in this market, oligopoly market has kinked demand curve, and this kinked demand curve was explained by Professor Paul M. Sweezy. Paul M. Sweezy explained that under oligopoly market structure, demand curve remains always indeterminate or kinked shaped demand curve, in which demand is more elastic in the beginning and after that less elastic at the end. And the shape of AR curve or average revenue curve is downward, but in the beginning this curve will be more elastic but downward, and then steeper shape curve which is known as less elastic demand curve. You know that average revenue is always known as a price, and AR is uh, demand curve under the market structure. And when AR in the beginning is more elastic and at the end less elastic, similarly MR curve will be drawn in same manner, like MR will also be more elastic in the beginning and then less elastic. And you know that what is the relationship between AR and MR? When AR falls, MR falls before than AR. So MR remains always below the AR curve. And this kingdom shaped demand curve was firstly introduced by Paul M. Sweezy. Sweezy is the name of economist. A key feature of oligopoly market is interdependent or interdependence with each other. You know that in this market, firms are mutually interdependent with each other, and this result in the model of the kinked demand curve. Demand is price inelastic in response to a price drop. If price falls, then other firms will also decrease the price. But if price rises, then other firm will not increase the price due to the competitors following suit as not to lose market share. In this market, price rigidity exists. Price rigidity means when one firm is price leader firm and other firms are followers. If one firm wants to decrease the price level, other firms will have to decrease the price level. Otherwise, their product will not sell in the market. That they will not increase the demand for their product. So if one leader firm decrease the price, then other firms must decrease their product price. But if price leader firm increases the price, then it is not sure that all other firms or followers firm will increase the price. In this case, other firms may be rigid or may be strict regarding price of the product. So in this case, demand curve is always kinked shape curve because in this market price rigidity exists. So demand is price elastic in response to a price rise as competitors can gain market share by retaining their current prices. This model suggests that there is likely to be price rigidity in oligopoly market. Now next is sources of oligopoly. How this oligopoly market structure formed and what are the various sources of oligopoly market. The main factors that give rise to oligopoly market is huge capital investment. You know how this market structure formed. What are the various sources of oligopoly market? One is huge capital investment. It means these sources are also known as some barriers or some restrictions. Due to these restrictions, firms remains always few under this market structure. One is huge capital investment. And next is huge capital investment means when sellers are only less and when there is required the requirement of huge capital investment in this market. So in this case, only few sellers exist because no one has unlimited power of investing money in their business enterprises. So that's why sellers are restricted to enter in this market. Next is economies of scale. When few sellers exist and few sellers increase their production level in a large scale, you know that when firms produces quantity of the product in a large scale, then firms get some internal and external benefits that is called economies of scale. Now next is patent right. Patent right is that right in which when a new firm or any firm invent or discover new thing, then firm get patent right and no one other firm can enter in the market and produce the same product because if one firm has patent right, then only that firm can produce those things other firms can't. So this also restricted the entry of the other firms. And control over certain raw material. If some firms have fully control over raw material, in this case, oligopoly market structure form. And merger and takeover, with the help of this merger and acquisition or takeover, this oligopoly market can be formed. So oligopoly market is that market in which only few sellers exist because there is some restrictions or barriers for the entry under this market structure. And what are the restrictions or barriers? Restrictions are like huge capital investment is required if you want to enter in this market. If you don't have huge capital investment or you don't have unlimited amount of money, you can't enter in this market. And if you are not producing goods in a large scale, then economies of scale you will not get and you can't enter in this market structure. If you have not invented any type of product or not discovered new things, then you will not get patent right and you can't enter in this oligopoly market. So merger and takeover, control over certain raw material, patent right, economies of scale, huge capital investment is the main requirement or necessary things which make oligopoly market structure. Now, next is oligopoly. In a brief, we can explain that oligopoly is a type of market in which few sellers exist and buyers may be in large number. And features we have discussed that in this market only few sellers exist, and in this market product may be same, may be heterogeneous or differentiated, and assumptions of this market is dominated market. When few sellers exist, they all have dominant power and they make dominant power in the market structure. So, dominated market structure is the main assumption of this oligopoly. Price competition, barriers to entry, sticky price. Sticky price is known as price rigidity. Next is its main objective is or main goal is to earn maximum profit. Product may be same, product may be differentiated. Firms may be collusive and non-collusive. If firms cooperate to each other or collude to if firm collude to restrict competition to increase joint profit, that is called collusion. And if firms don't make any uh, collude or cooperative behavior, if firms have no cooperative behavior, then this type of oligopoly is known as non-collusive or non-cooperative uh, oligopoly market. And in this market, firms are mutually interdependent to each other. And you know that in this market, demand curve remains always more elastic in the beginning and less elastic at the end. That's why this curve is known as kinked curve. Kinked means it's a tale of two halves. So in the beginning is elastic, more elastic demand curve, which is demand curve is always downward sloping curve. So AR will be downward and MR remains always below the AR curve due to this price rigidity and sticky prices. This curve shape is not certain, not fixed. In the beginning, it is more elastic, and after that, it is less elastic. Now, next is market structure. We can differentiate between different forms of market structure. We have discussed in previous sessions perfect competition market, monopoly market, monopolistic competition market, and in today's session we are discussing about oligopoly market. So now we have discussed the features of these market structure and we can differentiate in all these market. One is number one point is perfect competition market is that market in which large number of sellers and buyers exist. But in monopolistic competition market, large number of sellers exist but not very large. In oligopoly market, only few sellers or small number of huge firms or giant size firms exist in the market. And in monopoly, only single seller or one seller exist. Examples of perfect competition is like fruit sellers, foreign exchange market, or examples of monopolistic competition like biscuits, bread, shampoo, and other things, so many things, bathing soap, surf. There are differentiated product in monopolistic competition market. All sellers produces differentiated or heterogeneous product. And in oligopoly market, sellers are only few. For example, OPEC countries and automobile industries or cement industry, soft drinks industry are the example of oligopoly market. And monopoly market, the example of this is railway, in which only single seller exists. Next is product. What type of product produced by perfect competition? Perfect competition firm always produce homogeneous product. But in monopolistic competition market, product remains always heterogeneous. In oligopoly market, product may be homogeneous, may be differentiated. And in monopoly market, product may be homogeneous, may be differentiated, depends upon the single seller. Next is barriers to entry and exit. In perfect competition market, there is no restrictions for entry and exit. In monopolistic competition market, no restrictions of entry and exit. In oligopoly market, there is some barriers exist, uh, barriers to entry and exit. But in monopoly market, there is also some barriers or restrictions exist. That's why only single seller exists in this market. Price setting in perfect competition market, you know that only this type of market is that market in which price is determined by industry, not by the firms, and firms are always price taker, not maker. But monopolistic competition firms are price maker, oligopoly firms are price maker, and monopoly firm is also price maker, and there is no difference between firm and an industry under these three types of market, like monopolistic competition market, oligopoly market, monopoly market, no difference in firm and an industry. But in perfect competition market, there is a difference between firm and an industry, because industry determine the price and firm take over that price, which is determined by the industry's demand curve and supply curve intersection. That's why demand curve remains always horizontal, or price line remains always constant or same. Under perfect competition, price is uniform or same, but in monopolistic competition market, price is different. In oligopoly market, price is different. But non-price competition exists in two types of market. In monopoly market, there is a lot of price discrimination exists under this market structure. And the nature of demand curve, you know that perfect competition market has parallel to the x-axis demand curve. In monopolistic competition market, downward sloping demand curve, which is more elastic or flatter. Oligopoly market, there is a kinked shaped demand curve, which is more elastic in the beginning and less elastic at the end. In monopoly market, there is a downward sloping demand curve, which is less elastic due to no close substitutes are available. If no close substitutes are available in the market, then curve will be steeper. If more substitutes are available, for example, in monopolistic competition market, more substitute or close substitutes are available, so demand curve will be more elastic. In oligopoly market, substitutes may be available or sometimes may not be available. That's why demand curve is in the beginning more elastic and at the end less elastic, which is known as kinked demand curve. So this is the difference between all types of market structure which we have discussed. Now next is prisoner dilemma. This is also very important concept under this oligopoly market structure. Prisoner dilemma is the dilemma. Dilemma means confusion, and prisoner who commit any crime. If any person committed any crime, but there is no proper evidence, and if two criminals, we assume that if there are two prisoners like prisoner A and prisoner B, and we can show the different opinion or different their thoughts regarding either they confess their crime or not confess their crime in this payoff matrix. This is the payoff matrix in which rows and columns are formed. Prisoner B is showing that column uh, in a vertical option is called prisoner B's option, and horizontal form option is called prisoners A option. They have four options. Either they can confess their crime, If both confess their crime, then both will go to jail for 5 years. If one confess their crime and other not confess, so the person who confess, the prisoner who confess their crime, he will be free, and the prisoner who will not confess their crime, he will go to jail for 10 years. And if prisoner A not confess his crime, but prisoner B confess, then this situation will be reversed. It means now prisoner A, who is not confessing his crime, he will go to jail for 10 years, and prisoner B, who is confessing his crime, then he will get free. And if both are not confessing their crime, both are saying that they don't have done any crime, then both will go to jail for 1 year. It means there are dilemma regarding this, that prisoner A and prisoner B, either they confess their crime or not. Two prisoners who have committed any crime, but there is no proper evidence, and both put in different cells, and now they have four options: either they can confess their crime or not confess. Now, in this here collusive behavior and non-cooperative behavior, we can explain with the help of collusive and non-collusive behavior. Then, in which situation prisoner will both prisoner will get benefit or maximum benefit, and in which situation both prisoner will be in worse situation. If both prisoners will confess their crime, then both will go to jail for 5 years. But if one confess their crime, other will not confess their crime, then prisoner situation will be better off, and other will be worse off. And if prisoner A will not confess, it means his situation will be worse, and B confess, B situation will be better, but both will not get benefit. If both will not confess, then both will go to jail only for 1 year. That is a very good option, but it's not possible, because both have committed any crime, but there is no proper evidence. That's why they are put in jail, and different cells. They put in different cells, but there is no way of communication between both of them. That's why uh, both may be confess, both may be not confess. One can confess, other cannot, and same situation happens in case of prisoner A. So, for the best strategy or best option is that collusion. Collusion means if both cooperate to each other and both confess their crime, then both will go to jail 5 years. In this case, both have similar situation. No one prisoner situation is worse, and no one prisoner situation is better off. Both are getting same years of punishment. So in this case, confession is the best option for both the prisoners. It means collusion is the best option for getting maximum profit for the oligopoly market. Now we can explain with the help of game theory. Game theory under oligopoly market. Game theory is that theory in which we can explain the behavior of the firms under oligopoly market. We know that in oligopoly market there are some few sellers exist, and if few sellers exist, uh, they can mutually or group behavior, they can decide the price and quantity of the product. Either they can cheat to each other, or they can cooperate to each other. If both firms cooperate to each other, it means both will get 6-6 profit, and if one both firms cheat to each other, then both will get 4-4 profit. If one firm cheat and other cooperate, then the cheater firm will get more profit, and the cooperative firm will get less profit. For example, in case of country A, who is cheating, that will get 8 profit, and country B, who is not cheating or who is cooperating, that will get only 1 profit. In case of other, if country A don't cheat, then situation will be reverse, 1 or 8. So which one is the best option? If both firms cooperate to each other, they can make their joint profit maximized. So collusion is the best option. If oligopoly market, few sellers cooperate to each other, not compete or not enter in cutthroat competition, so they can maximize their joint profit. So, game theory tells us about the behavior of the oligopoly market, or it tells us the nature of the few sellers. Few sellers may be cooperative, and few sellers may be cheater or non cooperative. If few sellers are cooperative, then and mutually dependent on each other, then they can make their joint profit maximum. If few sellers are cheater or non-cooperative, then both uh, profit will fall. If one is cooperative and other is non-cooperative, so non-cooperative will earn maximum profit, but cooperative firm will get less profit. So this is game theory. Now, according to John Nash is the name of economist who tells about this game theory and the best strategy for the oligopoly market and for the few sellers. The best option is if both firms cooperate to each other, if both firms enter in collusion and they make cartel, they can maximize their joint profit. So collusion is the best option under this oligopoly market, and it can be explained with the help of this payoff matrix and game theory. Now next is models of oligopoly behavior. There is no single model of oligopoly behavior. An oligopoly model can take two extremes. One is cartel model. You know that cartel is a group of few sellers. And next is contestable market model. And other models like price leadership model, Cournot model, Bertrand model, Stackelberg model, there are so many models exist under oligopoly market. Next is barriers to entry. You know that in this market structure, there are some barriers or restrictions in like monopoly market, which maintains economic profit maximum due to the barriers to entry. And the barriers to entry include patent rights, next is distribution control, next is acquisition or merger and takeover, next is government regulations that limit competitions, brand loyalty. If any firm has brand loyalty, then no one firm can break his brand loyalty, and no one firm can compete with that firm. And network economies, if any seller has huge network, and if any firm is doing business in a global market way or nationally and internationally both, then other firms can't enter into the market, because if you have huge investment power, patent right, merger and acquisition power, if government have put some restrictions or regulations which limits the competition, and if any company has brand loyalty or network economies, then other firms will not enter into this market, and they will get advantage of this barriers to entry, and their profit will be maximized. So all these barriers to entry exist under this oligopoly market and in monopoly market. Next is contestable market. What type of market is contestable market? Contestable market is that market where an entrant has access to all production techniques available to incumbents, and entry decisions can be reversed without cost. Hit and run entry: when a when a business firm enter an industry to take advantage of temporarily high or supernormal profits. If there is no restrictions for entry and exit, in simple way we can say that contestable market is that market in which there is a freedom of entry and exit. You know that in oligopoly market there is barriers, there is restrictions for entry and exit. But in case of contestable market, there is freedom to enter and exit from the market. Next is sunk cost. Sunk cost is that cost which can't be recovered. If a business decides to leave an industry, the existence of sunk cost make a market less contestable. So sunk cost is that cost which is already sunk and we can't recover that cost, like advertising cost. If you put more money in expenditures or more money or expenditures, you have made lot of expenditure on publicity of the product, but your product is not sell in the market in a large quantity, it means that advertising cost is known as sunk cost which can't be recovered if a business decides to leave an industry. So, if the sunk cost exists in the market, it makes less contestable market. Next is contestable market is that market in which there is a competition exists and firm can easily enter and exit from the market. A perfectly contestable market occurs only when entry and exit into is perfectly costless. But if some cost exists, then it will be known as less contestable market. So the key requirement for a contestable market is the absence of some cost. And firms in contestable market face real and potential competition. The threat of hit and run entry from new rivals may be sufficient to keep the industry operating at a competitive price and output. Now, we can conclude from the today's session that we have discussed oligopoly today. Oligopoly market is that market in which only few sellers exist. Oligopolies can end up looking like monopolies or like competitive markets, depending on the number of firms and how cooperative they are. If sellers are in large quantity or very large, that forms perfect competition market. If sellers are only in large but not very large, it will make a monopolistic competition market. If sellers are few, then it will be known as oligopoly market. And if seller is only one, that is monopoly market. So market structure depends upon the number of buyers and number of sellers, mainly number of sellers. Buyers may be in large number. So in oligopoly market, sellers are few. They may be cooperative or non-cooperative. The prisoner dilemma shows how difficult it is for firms to maintain cooperation, even when doing so is in their best interest. And policymakers use the antitrust law to regulate oligopolistic behavior. So, oligopoly market is that market in which we can either few sellers may cooperate to each other or either they can compete with each other. If firms cooperate to each other, they can maximize their joint profit, and if firms compete to each other, then one firm who is cheater, who is competitor, that will earn more profit, but other firm who is cooperating or who is not enter in cheating or not competition, that firm is not entered in competition, that will earn less profit. So the best strategy for these firms are to cooperate with each other and mutually determine the price and quantity of the output, so that they can maximize their profit. So in today's session, we have discussed all these things related to oligopoly market. Thank you.